Have you been thinking about moving to Parker, Colorado? Parker is one of the few communities near Denver where the same town name can mean a newer suburban neighborhood, an established home near Main Street, a wooden custom property, or even several acres with horses. You also get strong parks and recreations, convenient access to E470, and most of your everyday needs without even leaving Parker. But the northwest side, Central Parker, the Pinery, Pradera, and the acreage areas do not create the same price point, commute, or lifestyle. So let's look at what living in Parker actually offers and which version may fit you. Hi, I'm Andrew Borremans, founder of the Borremans Properties. My team and I help families relocate throughout South Denver and all across the Colorado Front Range. In this video, we'll cover Parker's location, home prices, major neighborhoods, grocery access, schools, recreation, some of our local favorites, and even trade-offs that matter before you even choose a home here. So let's jump in. Parker sits southeast of Denver in Douglas County. Parker Road runs north and south through town, while E470 crosses the northern side and gives residents a direct access towards Lone Tree, Aurora, Denver International Airport, and the eastern side of Denver. That location tends to work well for people employed around Lone Tree, the Denver Tech Center, Centennial, Aurora, or Southeast Denver. It also makes the airport access easier than many people may initially expect. Approximate drive times from Central Parker, traffic, weather, toll roads usage, and the exact neighborhoods will affect travel time. The exact neighborhood still matters. Someone near Stonegate, Sierra Ridge, or northwest side has a quicker route towards E470 or even Lincoln Ave. Someone further south near the Pinery or Pradera spends more time on local roads before reaching the main roads. And someone buying acreage east of town may get more space and privacy while adding distance to nearly everything else. Parker Road gets busy, especially around the major intersections, but traffic is not the entire Parker story. The more useful question is whether your neighborhood gives you practical access to the places you use regularly, or whether every trip begins with the same 15-minute drive towards Parker Road. Grocery stores, medical offices, gyms, restaurants, large retailers are spread across several commercial areas rather than concentrated in one downtown district. King Soopers is our grocery store out here, and currently we have 3 Parker locations. One on Cottonwood Drive, one near Lincoln Ave at the crossing at Stonegate, and one further south at Stroh Ranch. Parker also has a Trader Joe's on Cottonwood Drive, along with Whole Foods, Safeway, Costco, Target, Walmart Supercenter, and other grocery and specialty food options. This gives residents a practical shopping option nearby, but the distribution is not perfectly even. The north and central parts of Parker have the greatest concentration. Once you move further south towards the Pinery of Pradera or east into the acreage areas, your regular grocery runs become a little bit more deliberate. This sounds like a minor detail until you realize it's a drive that you may make several times a week. Parker has one of the broadest housing ranges in this part of Colorado. For a first-time homebuyer, the most realistic entry point is usually a condo or a townhome. As a working range, these homes may begin in the upper 300s and continue through the 400s. Smaller single-family homes generally begin somewhere in the 500s, although condition, location, taxes, and competition can move that number pretty quickly. Much of Parker's single-family home market falls between the 600s through the 900s, while custom homes, wooded properties, golf communities, acreage, and luxury homes move above $1 million without much difficulty. For first-time homebuyers, the purchase price is only one part of the equation. A townhome may offer the lowest entry price, but have a larger monthly HOA. A newer single-family home may require fewer immediate repairs while carrying higher property taxes or Metro District costs. An older home may have a larger yard and matured trees, but need a roof, windows, furnace, or air conditioner sooner. The best entry-level option is not automatically the cheapest listing. It's the one where the full payment and likely ownership costs remain manageable after closing. To see what's currently available, go to our website, thebormans.co, click the Home Search tab, and search Parker. Our home search is connected directly to the MLS, so listings update automatically as the market changes. Parker becomes much easier to understand when you stop viewing it as one large group of subdivisions and break it into a few broad lifestyles. You got the northwest side that includes areas such as Stonegate, Meridian Village, Sierra Ridge, and Stepping Stone. This part of Parker tends to receive more attention from buyers who prioritize access towards E470, Lone Tree, Park Meadows, or the Denver Tech Center. Stonegate is more established, while Sierra Ridge, Stepping Stone, and surrounding communities generally offer newer homes and more modern layouts. One important detail is that some neighborhoods using a Parker mailing address are not actually inside the town of Parker. Stonegate, for example, is in unincorporated Douglas County, and that can affect taxes, services, metro districts, and the way the property is governed. The mailing address gets the listing onto the Parker search. It does not explain everything that comes with the house. Closer to the center of town, buyers often compare Clark Farms, Hidden River, Bradbury Ranch, Canterbury Crossing, and other established communities. These areas generally offer more mature landscaping, built-out streets, traditional resale homes, and convenient access to historic Main Street and commercial areas along Parker Road. The biggest variable is condition. One home may already have a newer roof, windows, furnace, air conditioner, and remodeled kitchen, while the next may have new cabinet handles and a very optimistic use of the word updated. In Parker's established neighborhoods, the inspection and the age of the major systems can matter just as much as the floor plan. Buyers focused on newer homes often compare Anthology, Looking Glass, Heirloom, Idlewild, Sierra Ridge, and Stepping Stone. These communities are more likely to offer open layouts, larger kitchens, newer mechanical systems, parks, trails, and neighborhood amenities. They also come with smaller lots, younger landscaping, continued construction, metro district taxes, and additional HOA expenses. New construction can reduce the immediate project list. It does not necessarily reduce the monthly payment. The builder's advertised price may also be the starting point rather than the finished price. Lot premiums, structural options, design upgrades, landscaping, fencing, appliances, and window coverings can all appear between the sales office and closing. The Pinery, timbers at the Pinery, and Prudere create a much different version of Parker. This is where you'll begin to see more mature trees, larger properties, custom homes, golf, and greater separation between neighborhoods. The setting can feel quieter and more distinctly Colorado than newer production communities. The Pinery itself is an unincorporated community south of the town of Parker. Even though it uses a Parker mailing address, the trade-offs include more distance from E470, more property to maintain, and potentially more attention to insurance, wildfire exposure, drainage, steep driveways, and snow depending on the property. The trees and larger lots are easy to appreciate. The maintenance usually introduces itself a little bit later. Now, east and south of Parker, the landscaping opens up into horse properties, barns, workshops, RV garages, and larger acreage. This is one of Parker's biggest differences from Highlands Ranch and many other communities closer to Denver. You can remain connected to Parker while living somewhere that no longer feels traditionally suburban. Acreage may also bring wells, septic systems, private roads, fencing, outbuildings, livestock rules, and more land to maintain. More land gives you more freedom. It also gives you more things capable of breaking, leaking, leaning, escaping, or needing to be fed. Historic Main Street is what keeps Parker from feeling like nothing more than a collection of subdivisions. You have local restaurants, coffee shops, O'Brien Park, Discovery Park, community events, the Parker Library, and the Pace Center for theater, concerts, exhibits, and classes. Downtown is also receiving substantially new development and investment, so Main Street should continue adding housing, businesses, and activity over the next several years. It is walkable once you arrive, but Parker as a whole is not. Most residents still have to drive to work, groceries, school, restaurants, and activities. But having an actual town center gives Parker a stronger local identity than many communities built entirely around shopping centers. And since we spend a lot of time in Parker, I want to give you a few of our actual local favorites, not just places pulled from a website review. For breakfast, go ahead and check out Stonegate Cafe. It's one of our favorites. It's a great local breakfast spot, especially if you live around Stonegate or the northwest side of Parker. The historic downtown has Parker Garage. This one is one of our go-to spots. For Mexican food, we like Casa Mariachi, and for something faster, Casa Mariachi on the go. Our order there is the killer burrito, and make sure you add the cheese. For coffee, stop at Coffee Cabin. My favorite is the Whiskey Barrel Cold Brew. And for pastries, cakes, or something sweet, Paris Baguette is one of our favorites as well. They have a really good bakery selection, and it's an easy place to stop when you want something beyond a normal coffee shop pastry. These are the type of places that make Parker feel more local and established than you might expect when you first see all the newer neighborhoods surrounding the town. Recreation is a major part of everyday life in Parker. The town currently maintains more than 398 acres of existing proposed parkland, 41 miles of concrete and soft surface trails, 14 parks, and 1,144 acres of open space. The Cherry Creek Regional Trail runs through the community and connects Parker into the larger regional trail systems. Parker also has the Recreation Center, the Parker Fieldhouse, H2 O'Brien Pool, the Parker Ice Trail, sports fields, playgrounds, dog parks, and access to equestrian trails. The field house includes indoor turf, gym space, batting tunnels, an inline sport court, fitness space, and a climbing wall. This is not one recreation center serving the entire town. The parks, trails, facilities, and neighborhood amenities create several different ways to use Parker depending on where you live. You can attend an event on Main Street, use the recreation facilities, take the Cherry Creek Trail, play organized sports, or spend time in a neighborhood park without needing to drive into Denver every weekend. Parker is primarily served by the Douglas County School District. The area includes neighborhood schools, charter options, and several major high schools. Buyers should verify the assigned school districts through the district rather than relying on old listings or third-party websites. Schools are important to many buyers, but they should remain one part of the larger decision. Parker tends to work well for people who want a suburban community with more variety than a traditional master planned area. It can fit buyers who value parks, trails, Main Street events, access to our E470, newer homes, established neighborhoods, or the ability to move into luxury and acreage without leaving the general community. It may be less appealing if you want a genuinely walkable lifestyle, the quickest possible trip into central Denver, or a town where every neighborhood feels close to everything else. Parker works best when the specific side of town supports the routine you actually have. So, how does Parker score overall? For housing variety, I give Parker a 9.5 out of 10. There are very few nearby communities where you can move from a townhome to new construction, wooded luxury, golf, and acreage without changing the town on your mailing address. For location and regional access, Parker gets an 8 out of a 10. E470 is a major advantage for the airport, Aurora, Lone Tree, and the eastern side of Denver. But the further south or east you live, the more local driving you add. For parks, trails, and recreation, Parker gets an 8.5 out of 10. The trail network, recreation facilities, parks, field house, and community programs offer much more than just a basic suburban park system. For local identity and lifestyle, Parker gets an 8.5 out of 10. Main Street, the Pay Center, local events, restaurants, coffee shops, and recreation gives Parker a recognizable center and a strong community feel. For walkability, Parker gets a 6 out of 10. Main Street works well once you arrive. The broader community still expects you to own your own car. Overall, Parker earns an 8.7 out of 10. Its strongest quality is not that every part of town works for everyone. It is that Parker gives buyers enough different versions to find the one that may work for them. My honest take is that Parker belongs on the shortlist for buyers who want more housing and lifestyle variety than they would find in one master plan community. The Northwest Side, Main Street, the established neighborhoods, the newer developments, Pinery, Pradera, and the acreage areas all create different experiences. That makes Parker harder to explain in one sentence, but much more useful once you understand what you are comparing. The question is not simply whether Parker is a good place to live. It's whether the right part of Parker matches the way you want to live. Hopefully this gave you a clear picture of what living in Parker is actually like. To compare Parker with more planned and amenity-driven communities, go ahead and watch our other videos on our channel. And for help narrowing down the right area or searching current homes, go ahead and reach out to us with our information down below or visit us at our website, theborremans.co. And if there's a Parker topic that you want me to cover next, the Pinery, acreage, Stonegate, first-time home buyer options, grocery store access, local restaurants, new construction, or even property taxes, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. It could become one of our next videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.